Welcome back to The Cinnamon Effect. I'm Kimberly Hand, and today I'm going to give you my top natural beauty tips that actually work. Hey there, and welcome to the Cinnamon Effect podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Hand, and I'm thrilled to have you with me on this vibrant journey of discovery and growth. This podcast is your go-to space for embracing intention, where you'll find clarity on your unique path, deepen those meaningful connections, and unleash your creativity like never before. We'll explore how to build unshakable confidence and celebrate the beauty of gratitude, all while savoring the calm that consistency brings to our lives. Thank you for being with me. Let's sprinkle a little cinnamon into your day and make life sweeter, healthier, and more fulfilling. So if you are like me and someone, I'm scared of needles, I hate all that stuff, you don't resonate with Botox and fillers, that is just not your deal. I think you're going to love this episode because I'm going to talk about all the natural beauty things that I do for my skin, for my hair, everything. So let's get into it. Okay, guys. So the inspiration for this episode was just the fact that I think that women feel a lot of pressure at a certain age. Let's say, I think actually it's getting younger and younger, but we feel pressure to do certain cosmetic things. And I will tell you, as being a 45-year-old woman and feeling that pressure myself and almost second guessing my decision to commit to a more natural beauty routine and make those choices, those natural choices, instead of going the route of, say, plastic surgery or injectables or different things. I too have second guessed myself and thought, am I doing the right thing? Am I missing the boat on something? Should I be doing these things that I know so many women are doing? Should I be doing that as well? And I, a long time ago, committed to, only because I was really kind of frightened about a lot of the stuff that people were doing, and I hate needles. I've just gotten able to go and get an IV and not feel completely freaked out and scared every time I go do that. I don't look at the needle. I still don't look at the needle. I'll be like, take my arm, but I'm not going to look at what you're doing. So that was really, why I didn't want to do any of this other stuff. And of course, injecting chemicals and different things into my skin did not really resonate with me either. So I committed a long time ago to trying to discover different natural beauty practices that I could follow, that I could stay consistent with, and that I thought actually worked. So I'm going to share with you, as someone who has never gotten Botox, never had a filler, never done a lip injection, never done anything, what I commit to, I think keeping my skin and everything looking as best as it can. So I'm going to share this with you guys today. And I'm going to be honest that beauty starts with good, clean habits as a foundation. And one of the most important things is your sleep. So it's hard for moms. And I do think the lack of sleep shows on our faces a lot of times. So sleep is so important. And you know about sleep hygiene and trying to go to sleep at the same time and wake up the same time the next day, but really committing to, I'm not going to stay up tonight and binge Netflix. I'm going to go to sleep and get like a good night's sleep. So anything that you need to make that happen, reducing the red or the blue light at night before you go to bed, if you can break away from that at least an hour or so before you go to bed, and just trying to commit to getting that really good sleep. Proper hydration is huge. You have to be hydrated or else your skin is going to show it for sure. I think hydration is big. Also, that would be limiting caffeine, limiting alcohol, those types of things. That is going to show on your skin. And that is part of the foundation that I have worked on over the years with myself and my diet and my stress load and my sleep hygiene and all of that. So I've really tried to work on that. Minerals are huge. So whether you get the minerals from your food, or if you are taking some kind of supplementation of minerals. So I have been on and off, but really trying to commit to incorporating it into my routine, doing mineral supplementation. So the Quinton minerals, they're like in a little glass vial and you break them open and they're really easy to take, but those minerals do wonders for skin and hair. And my good friend Samantha Monas, she always talks about it. She is my wellness advisor in person, and she always talks about the minerals in the diet. So you can take a supplementation or get the minerals in your food. One of the most mineral-rich foods are pumpkin seeds. And I try to have a handful of pumpkin seeds almost every day. It's something you can put them in a yogurt bowl, you can put them on a salad, like they're so versatile. So you can sprinkle them on your quinoa, like whatever you're going to have. Pumpkin seeds are so good and they are very high in minerals. Also, any kind of seaweed, just leafy greens, anything green, super high in minerals and so good for your skin and hair. Like I think people don't really think about that, but getting those mineral rich foods. Also, oysters are like very high in minerals. Dark chocolate is high in magnesium. So there's like so many different foods, but if you think you're lacking in something, try and see what different foods you could put into your diet to get those minerals. So that is super, super important. Like I said, I'm doing those Quinton minerals. Love those if you think that you're not getting them into your diet, but super big for skin health. Exercise. Exercise is more than just trying to look toned. You're improving your circulation in your body. So exercise is actually good for your skin. You're sweating, you're purging those toxins. And so exercise is like a non-negotiable, again, like a foundation of what we need to be doing for our beauty and for our skin and, just looking our best. So, it has to, I guess I have to mention it, but I feel like who is smoking these days? But if you are smoking something, it is probably showing on your skin and giving you like a dull complexion. So it should go without saying no smoking, but I am going to mention the no smoking here. I'm actually surprised at some of my friends that tell me that they don't wash their makeup off at night. And I'm like, how is that even possible that you do not wash your makeup off at night? That is a non-negotiable for me. I have to wash the makeup off. Actually, as soon as I get home from anywhere that I am, I want the makeup off my face. So I think, making sure that you're cleansing, double cleansing. The double cleanse, I'll be honest, new to me over the last couple years. So if I'm wearing makeup, which I don't do every day, if I'm wearing any kind of makeup, I try to do the double cleanse. So I'm doing a cleanse a lot of times with like an oil cleanser to get that makeup off, and then doing another cleanse. And then of course, toning and doing, all the skincare things. But the double cleanse, just like the double hair wash sometimes, is so important because if I put oil into my hair, I do like a hair mask or something, I am going to need the double wash. So the double cleanse of the face and the double wash, new to me in my 40s, but it's something I have been doing. And I think you go to sleep with like a cleaner palette on your face and, don't sleep with that gooky makeup on at night. Just don't do it, please. Another thing I do is the silk pillowcase. I think I've mentioned it before, but the silk pillowcase, so important for hair and skin health. I had been using the one by Silk, which I still do really like, but I like the one by Lunya. It's a washable silk pillowcase. It's actually called Good in Bed pillowcase, and it's really soft and you can wash it. And it's like seems like less maintenance. Some of the other pillowcases, I think I was hand washing them, and this one you can like throw in the wash with everything else. It's $88, but if you're going to add anything, if you're going to do organic sheets, like I always suggest, but if you're going to add anything into a good skin routine, I think it's adding a silk pillowcase into the mix. So I have been doing that over the last couple of years, the silk pillowcase. Regular facials. Okay, this one, I'm going to be honest, I had never had a facial, I think, until I was in my 30s. And you may think women these days are more savvy when it comes to that. And I think probably young women are having facials and when I was younger, it was just not something that everyone did. And it was more of like a luxury that not everyone had. And I think now for that skin health and being on top of that, like facials are a non-negotiable for me. So regular facials. And I had gone, I would say I started out maybe getting a facial once every 3 months. Now I think a facial once a month is where it's at. And if I can do more than that, I mean, that's really like a luxury for me. But if I can do more than that, then I try and do it. But one facial a month is game changer. Okay. And I'm telling you, because when you get into your 40s, you really want to keep everything looking as good as possible and really commit to that skin health. So with the facials, it's not only like the extractions and, all of that stuff that you're doing, but it's the facial massage of it. I think I know the massage is so important because you're improving the circulation, you're getting all the blood flowing in your face. You are releasing tension in your face. And that's why you have that like after facial glow where you feel like you look younger because they have worked out that tension and increasing that circulation and you have that glow. Regular facials are so important. I actually just had the buccal massage or a buccal massage. I've heard that you can call it either or. It depends if you're in like the medical realm that they call it like buccal, but it is more commonly known as a buccal massage. And the facialist uses gloved fingers inside your mouth. And I've had something similar done one time, although it was not facial oriented. It was more like whole body oriented. But this was a facial for almost 2 hours where there were no extractions, but it was facial manipulation and massage. And they use their fingers inside your mouth to relieve tension and it sculpts the face like no other. So it gives a more lifted and defined look to your face. It was something that I feel like I had heard a lot about, but never tried it. Always wanted to try it. I found someone who does it, who is incredible. And it was like a game changer. So my face actually felt almost numb afterward, but it's because it's so much like manipulation. And she kind of started with like a lymphatic draining type, lighter touch. And it was all very, very gentle. None of it hurt, but really getting into your mouth and relieving that tension like along your jawline, you don't realize that, all that tension in your jawline, in your scalp. She worked my scalp really well, in your neck, all the way down into your neck and in your chest. All of that affects the way your face is. And if there's too much tension, it can be pulling your face down. And that is not what we want, okay? We want to keep everything lifted, everything tight, So I really, really loved that. The buccal massage, I felt like that I could see a difference in my face right away. And it looked more defined and lifted, less puffy because that lymphatic portion of it, you really get a lot of draining. I felt like I slept really well after. I have to give a shout out to my girl, Lisa, who also gives me regular facials. And everything is very natural. She makes her own products and they have, oils and essential oils and things like that. And I really have found this beautiful way to still commit to beauty. And it's not saying that I'm not into beauty and skin and hair, but I want to take this more natural route. And this started I said it's been a couple years, but it actually started when I was younger. I had very, very sensitive skin. I think I've mentioned this. I had bad skin, bad skin. I had a lot of breakouts and everything. Little did I know, I don't think I was drinking enough water. I was eating a lot of dairy, which is very clogging. So you have to think about, what you're putting in and what you're eating, because that's going to have a huge effect on your skin. So I thought I was this person that was never going to have nice skin. And when people say to me now, oh my gosh, your skin is so nice, and here I'm in my 40s, it's like, wow, because you don't know, I appreciate it so much because you don't know how self-conscious I used to be about my skin. So the fact that I'm even sitting here talking about things that I do for my skin is like a huge leap for me, because I never thought I would be feeling like I had good skin. So anyway, so it's been a long, long skin journey for me, let's just say. So the one thing that I did try and do was I was feeling a little pressure of just internal pressure of oh, I should be doing stuff. Maybe I should be doing a laser. Maybe I should be, doing something for my skin. And so I did a microneedling treatment. And I have to say, whatever it was, it just did not agree with me. It did not. I could have been detoxing at that time. There could have been a lot of things that attributed to my reaction, but I had a little bit of a bad reaction to it. And that was a wake-up call for me to say, you know what? A lot of people may be able to do that type of thing, but I'm really going to have to take more consideration when it comes to my skin, because I am so sensitive, and I need to just really trust my intuition. If something doesn't feel right or sound right or just seems too aggressive, maybe I should just not do it. And so since then, I said, I'm going to do everything that I can to take this more natural route, because I don't want a bad reaction. And I see these people on social media sharing these videos of doing lasers, and they look like their skin is burning off of their face. And I get the point is to build, tear it down and build it back up, the collagen and everything. But that's just not me. I would be so scared that my skin would not go back to normal, or I would have a bad reaction. Or, there are people that have really tremendous problems after doing different treatments. And so I've always thought maybe I would be that person that would just have the bad reaction. I would be the one that, got Botox and one eye would be up and one eye would be down or something like that. So I just have stayed away from it. I'm too much of a baby when it comes to it. I hate pain. I hate needles. I hate anything like that. So I just, I have come up with different things that have worked for me. So the regular facials at least once a month, non-negotiable. Now, the buccal massage, like I said, incredible. I really feel like that's something I'm going to incorporate into my routine. But if you can't go and get a monthly facial, then work on the daily facial massage. And I still do that as well. So there's so many videos on YouTube, use the gua sha stone and do the facial manipulation every single day. I think it makes a big, huge difference. I can see when I do that and the fluid, if your face runs a little puffy, my face can be kind of puffy, then, just getting that fluid out. So when you're doing gua sha, you're wanting to prep the lymph for that. So you would rub your gua sha stone on your neck to kind of warm everything up and get everything flowing, and then, go on with a gua sha routine. But I'm super big on that. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I love the gua sha. But doing these things every single day makes a huge difference. So consistency is key. I do think that. Now, one thing that I am going to be more committed to in 2026 is body work. So more body massage, because if you are, thinking about increasing the circulation in your facial skin, but why not do it all over your body? So I am going to commit to doing more of that, because I kind of neglect that sometimes. And that's so important too with how your body skin looks. It stays more, I don't know, it just looks better, less sagginess and all of that. You've got more of that circulation going. So I think it's really important to keep the body work in play and make that part of your routine too, because it's not just, eliminating sore muscles, but it's really getting that circulation going in your body. And that is going to make your skin look better, people. One thing that I've done, and it's huge. I'm a huge advocate for it. You know, I love acupuncture, but facial acupuncture, okay, next level. Now, when we're talking about lifting the muscles, this is a game changer. I can also tell immediately that when I've had it done, like I feel like I look more lifted and sculpted. You know, my face looks better. But in Chinese medicine, they view wrinkles as stagnation. It's a stagnation of qi, of energy, which could be, poor organ function of the kidneys or liver. If you're putting a lot of bad things in your body, then that's probably going to show in wrinkles and fine lines. And so when they do facial acupuncture, you have like a lot of needles in your face. But when Dr. Hong does the needles on my face, she'll pull just very gently. It feels very, very gentle. She'll pull like my, let's say from my forehead into my scalp, and she'll place a needle there. Well, she'll get me all needled up. And then I can feel within probably 10 minutes where I can feel my facial muscles trying to pull down. And so this is kind of training them to stay lifted and pulled up. And it's really so interesting. I think the facial acupuncture is amazing. It's like natural Botox. It really does look so good. And it's something that I will continue to do as well. So between the facial massage, regular facials, the buccal facial, and the facial acupuncture, next level, people, okay? I want to give a shout out to my friend Michelle. Michelle turned me on to, Michelle's been a facialist all over the world, and she turned me on to a high frequency tool. And this tool is something that you can get on Amazon, super cheap. It was $30 or $40 when I got it. And it uses gentle electrical currents, and you can use it. It actually stimulates. It has a little glass tool on the top, and it'll stimulate. You can use it on your skin. It boosts circulation. It promotes cell renewal. It stimulates collagen. It has a slightly tingly sensation to it, and you can use this on your skin. You could use it on a pimple. So it kind of promotes that cell turnover. You can use it on your scalp to stimulate the scalp. And that's something that I didn't really understand because I've always had finer, thinner hair, just born with hair like that. And so I really had to work on my hair health. So the high frequency tool, I think, does a great job kind of stimulating the scalp. You can use, there's a comb, and you can kind of comb that through your hair too. And it's got this little gentle electrical current, but promoting that circulation, there's more stimulation to the hair. And so for me, I'm always trying to, boost that hair health. And so using that high frequency tool, but like I said, you can use it on your face. You could use it on a pimple or an ingrown hair. You could, use it for anything like that. So next level tip on that. Also for hair and skin health, supplementation. So certain supplements that promote the health of the skin and hair, some that I've used and some that I haven't, but I am wanting to try. Nutrafol, I have tried for a couple of years now, and I've gone, it's 4 pills. You've probably heard about it. I've gone from taking 4 pills. I've gone down to taking 2 pills. I've kind of, I've taken a break. I've gone back on. I do think the Nutrafol helps a lot. Minerals, adding those minerals that we talked about, like in food, like pumpkin seeds, or taking a Quinton mineral is really good. The collagen, I like the Agent Nature with Dr. Will Cole. I like their collab, which is collagen. So I've been taking that for a really long time. Organ meat supplements I've heard are really, really good, or eating organ meat, animal organ meat in general. Something I don't really do, but I've been thinking about maybe taking a supplement. I don't think I'm really going to eat the organ meat, but maybe a supplementation, I would work on that potentially. We have a podcast coming up that is a molecular hydrogen, and that's a super powerful antioxidant. It's good for reducing inflammation. It helps with hydration. It helps with skin health too, skin and hair. So hydrogen is another one to add. Like we talk about on the podcast, you can take a tablet, supplementation that way, or you can inhale the hydrogen. So I think hydrogen is another one to add to your arsenal for good skin health, good skin and hair. Aminos. I've been big on the aminos for a while. My girl Sam also got me taking those quite a while ago, but amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So obviously we need that to keep our skin, with good collagen and elastin and all that good stuff. So the aminos are something I at least have a glass of aminos. They actually have them in tablet form as well. So you can take them like that. But the aminos are big. And you're getting hydration too, because if you're taking it like a powder, then you're drinking more water, and that obviously helps too. It keeps the skin firm and resilient, and that's something that I want as well. My sauna, my infrared sauna, I think that has contributed to good skin and hair health because it's promoting circulation, you're sweating, you're detoxing. I think my skin always looks better after a good sauna. You're purging kind of that bad stuff. You have to make sure that you're super hydrated after doing that, but I do think the sauna has really helped. The infrared light, I think that's probably helped my hair grow because, I went through a period of time where my hair was super fine and it was not growing and it was maybe breaking, like my hair was just in shambles, I think the infrared sauna has been really good for my skin and hair health. And Rebounding is another practice. You guys have heard me talk about it, and I will scream from the rooftops about rebounding because the lymphatic drainage, it's so good for lymphatic drainage. So you're getting all those toxins out and the jumping, and I just think it's really good. And you actually would think, sometimes people think that the jumping is not good for your skin, but it creates more of a resilience for your skin as you're jumping and can actually make your skin feel tighter. So the rebounding, don't sleep on the rebounding, so good. So, I guess I really wanted to give you guys my recommendations for my best natural beauty tips because I feel like women, we get on the Ferris wheel of doing some of these beauty treatments and we can't get off. And I just wanted to give an alternative to people that it doesn't resonate with them, or maybe they have tried it, they've gone that route and really want to go back to a natural route. So I wanted to share the things that I have done over the course of time that I think really work, that I've incorporated into my routine, and give you there's just another way. There's just another way that you can go, and you don't have to do these extreme measures. And I think, some women are getting very extreme, and it's happening earlier and earlier. And when I went to go get the buccal massage, she was telling me how, some of her clients are bringing in their daughters and trying to show their daughters that there's another way. There's a natural way to care for your skin and to, just promote beauty. And you don't have to be anti-beauty. You can still be pro-beauty, but doing it a natural way. So those are my tips. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, share it with somebody you love. And I really appreciate you listening. And I'll see you guys next time on The Cinnamon Effect. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. If you enjoyed our time together, don't forget to hit that follow button on your podcast app and sprinkle a little love by leaving us a 5-star rating and a quick review. Your support means the world to me. For even more goodness, check out the show notes where you'll find links to some of my favorite products. And don't forget to visit thecinnamoneffect.com to connect with me directly or to grab your TCE gratitude journal, your next step towards a more grateful life. I can't wait to spice things up with you again next time. Stay vibrant, stay inspired, and remember to add a little cinnamon to your life every day.